Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out an amazing design trend which has been leaked by Google. Yep, Google just leaked its next big material design update, something that every designer looks forward to, but material design is about to change. I'm going to break down a lot what is to come and the trends that are going to form around it. They're going to change the standard of design for a lot of websites, apps, especially the Google apps and Google services that they provide to billions of users. Alright, so the new material design is called Material U Expressive. And this, as the name suggests, focuses on human emotions and human expression at its core. Before we get into the emotions and expressive aspect of design that they're trying to promote, let's get into the visual changes or the UI changes they're making. In the leak, one of the screenshots which were very prominent was this one that I'm going to show up on screen. This is basically a bento grade of some of the design changes that they're going to make to the recent components they already have. As you can see, the first thing that we notice is a dynamic width, these little pills that they've created, which indicate menu items essentially. So if you open up this persistent menu at the bottom, which I'm sure you've seen before, if you click on the plus icon, it will open up with all these menu items. And then you can either select, add photos, share album, or search. Now we've had such a design before, but it's always the same width. But in this case, the container hugs whatever is inside it, whether it's the icon or the text or whatever. This is quite a unique approach to these kind of menus, and we've never really seen this before. This can be against a lot of the usability laws that we already understand, of consistency, of hierarchy, etc. But this is just breaking that hierarchy in this case. I'm not very sure whether this is going to be usable or not, but if they implement it across hundreds of apps that they have, and this is the next standard, then maybe we can see users actually implementing, then we can maybe see designers implementing this. The next was the horizontal menus. Instead of there being consistency, once again a slightly inconsistent button as compared to the other section or the other menu, but the inconsistency in this case is on purpose. It is to kind of show that this is something else and it plays a different role as compared to all the other icons that are placed there. The action button is clearly separated from anything else or any navigation elements in this case. The same thing we can see with these tabs or these little pills. If you select one or highlight one, only one of these elements will be of full border radius and everything else will be either these rounded these rounded rectangles or a partial rounded rectangle, whatever you want to call it. Again, creating inconsistency to highlight an object, I think that is what I'm really seeing with this design trend. Alright, they've also showcased a comparison between what an old design of, say, a podcast app or a music app will look and a new design with the M3 Expressive, what we're calling it now. Now the M3 Expressive sort of shows these random laid out elements, these random laid out album arts essentially. I'm not being able to make out clearly what each album is, and if there's a new album or something that I've just experienced, I might not recognize that album straight up just through its visual art. I would definitely have to see a label to determine what album this is. This is a risky design choice that M3 Expressive is making. I'm sure not every designer will want to do this, but for those who do it, rest in peace to usability for sure in this case. The earlier ones I was enjoying. This one is a no-go from me, a thumbs down. Again, they're making all the buttons huge. The play button is huge. It's too big. A user interface like this, you cannot have something where you can't just throw in a large button and users have to figure out what to look at. The title's too big, the button's too big, the album art is too big, everything is just way too big and nothing is garnering my attention. And my attention just is all over the place. If you do like a usability, like an attention map, you'll figure out that the heat map is going all over the place and there's not one good CTA for the entire page. It's just random things thrown on the screen. Alright, Leak also showcased an entire banner of different mobile applications. I'm assuming these are default Google apps that you'll find on, say, a Google Pixel phone. This is where things get interesting. There are a lot of things that I can point out here. Number one, the floating bars, panels, menus, just like this one, where we are basically texting somebody or there's AI that we're interacting with, looks beautiful. It's a floating menu. It's a floating text box essentially, which is beautiful. There is a plus on the left. On the right, there is audio, I'm assuming. So, which is clubbed together. Again, a great choice when you're clubbing. When you're clubbing common actions together, it's always a good idea to do that. But the plus icon is on the left. Makes sense. There are some apps which will do all three buttons on the right, but this is another cool choice. But I like how there is a slight gradient at the back, makes for something better than just a random shadow thrown across our face. One thing that I've seen a lot are these shapes coming to play to portray loading. Instead of a loading bar, now shapes will be there. So these shapes will transform. There was a video which also got leaked on how these shapes show transformation. I'll put that on screen. I think this is a very interesting way of expressing design. Yes. Now the expressive word is coming into play again. Another thing that I'm seeing is the inconsistent buttons, which are done on purpose, are playing well with the gallery. The gallery has some really cool aspects to it. The button options are very minimal, almost non-existent. They're there, you can press them, but they're not garnered. They don't want your attention, which is a good thing. Because what is demanding my attention are the filters on top, and one of these filters is highlighted in a different shape, and it feels like you've actually pressed this, and this is taking place currently. I think that is a very good way to show the user that this is the current state on screen, and highlights what is happening currently. Similarly, we can see active alarms being a very different aspect of the design as compared to the inactive alarms. The active alarms are very beautifully highlighted. I like this monochromatic thing going on, but apart from that, the inactive alarms actually blend into the background. It does solve purpose indoors, but the outdoor lighting conditions, such monochromatic designs can cause a problem, especially the ones just blending into the background. Another design trend that I've been seeing lately with some apps out there are these free-flowing designs or free-flowing notes of like this whiteboard kind of applications that most operating systems are trying to bring. Apple already has theirs. Google is trying to bring their own with this screenshot that got leaked. This seems very interesting, follows the Material U or Material 3 expressive guidelines. But apart from that, this is where it will shine. Personalized, customizable applications where you can just throw things around. Something similar to this is being done by Pinterest with their own whiteboard platform. I'm forgetting the name of that platform, but they're doing that on their platform as well. So Google is late to the party, but they're bringing in their own notes app with all these cool whiteboard canvas-based explorations. One thing that this feels like is a designer exploring, experimenting, and having fun. These designs do kind of showcase that a lot. One thing that usability-wise they're claiming will be much better with Material U or Material 3 Expressive is 4 times faster user actions, user interactions. So in this case, they're showcasing the email or the Gmail app essentially. It's a conversational style of design instead of the old email standard design. This is really cool. Number one, it showcases different material design cards that they're going to bring with these really cool images and banners and stuff like that. But the button at the bottom is of course very clear, and just you can press it and it takes you to and it sends the email. Perfect. One problem that comes to mind as a user experience designer is the issue with accidental touches and clicks. Imagine you're going to press something else and this big button is on screen. You might accidentally press this. The fact that it's really close to the text as well, it just makes it accident prone area for sure. One thing that I really like about this are the action buttons at the bottom. Quickly just add any images, PDFs, whatever to the email, attach it, and then send it. That's perfect. The alignment here is perfect, and I think this could be the conversational emails which look like text messages with action elements at the bottom. I think this is a much better UI. This screen really wins me over. From all the criticism I just gave to this design trends, this could be the next big thing. I'm hoping this would be. Again, Google is claiming 4x faster speeds in their leaked article that they posted about Material U Expressive. These once again are concepts and things that Google is trying out. Might never come to us, but if they do, wonderful. Alright, now let's come to a guidelines chart that they took out with their leaked article. Something that 9to5google.com was able to extract before they deleted the article. Google just loves doing these leaks now by themselves. This leaked graph showcases 3 or 4 different attributes of the design and how to measure the success of your design based on these attributes. Number one is coolness attribute. Something that they've already tried with Material U is how much fun can the users have with the design. In this case, number one is stand apart. Does your design stand apart from the competitors is what I'm assuming, or do the elements on screen stand apart from just the boring elements that exist? Number two is defiant. Is this defying the laws of physics? No, laws of UX in this case. Maybe that is what they mean. Again, not truly described properly yet. Fascinating. Okay, is your design fascinating? Does the user want to press a button, try out things? That is something that we already have with user experiences. Can we kind of see whether the user wants to press a CTA based on how cool it might look on screen? That's something we've tried before. Original. Again, don't know what original means here. Is the design original? Is it a copy? I mean, I don't know. Expressive attributes. Now this is where the expression or the emotion part of users comes into play. Energetic, emotive, positive vibe, creative, playful, friendly. These are some interesting words that can be used for sure, and they are being used. Is this how the users behave with the design? God knows. Creative. Is the design different? Does it feel creative and playful? Sure, those are things that we can measure. Friendly. User friendliness is what I assume this means. Positive vibe. Vibes are here. Vibe is now a word truly being used, overused in design. Vibe coding, vibe design. I mean, I have a video on vibe design, so I really can't blame everyone else. Alright, so this is something else that they've taken up. The expressiveness of different age groups. Interesting analogy. People in the younger age group from early adulthood, 18 to 24, are 87% expressive. 25-34 people get boring. A little more boring than youngsters. 25-34, that's my age range. So, wow, okay, I'm 81% expressive. People in there just before their mid-age are 65% expressive or favor expressive designs. People who are in the older category I mean 45 to 64, are much less expressive with the designs, or favor expressive design less is what they mean, of course, here. So, once again, interesting chart. Maybe we can use this for our designs. Who knows? Let's see how people are going to implement this. Time to first fixation. This is where I get really interesting. They're trying to reduce the amount of time the user takes to decide something on screen. In this case, the M3, which was earlier, M3 baseline, takes more time for the user to click on a button, say, or take a decision or complete a task. And for M3 Expressive, the chart goes down. The user across ages is taking less time as compared to people across ages are taking with the older design. So people in, say, like the 45 plus age group are taking much longer to take a decision on screen as compared to someone who's younger. This is true. This is actually backed by research. I'm sure most designers are aware of this, but they are claiming that M3 Expressive will try and fix this. The big buttons, the inconsistent design on purpose, the new activity and new feeds, the big bold cards and titles, I'm assuming is trying to fix the issues that people in the older age group have. At the same time, for try and create something unique for the younger crowd. Younger crowd these days does like big bold font. That is something which is true. So something that Google is trying to pioneer once again with Material 3 Expressive, something which has been leaked. 9 to 5 Google and many other prominent researchers and journalists have brought it out and are trying to explain it. I will share an entire explainer or an article where they've explained every little aspect of these leaks so that you guys can read through it, share it with your colleagues and stuff like that. Hoping this is something that you guys learned from these. I will also attach some UI kits that you can follow, which follows certain principles just like Material U Expressive in the description, so you can always get it for free for Figma. And once again, I'll see you just like this every single week. If you want me to make another kind of design trend video just like this, maybe hit the like button and also comment down below if you want to see a certain design trend being portrayed, or if you have found a design trend I missed out on. I'll see you next time. Until next time, take care, like, subscribe. God bless.